Buongiorno. Buongiorno, oggi vi voglio invitare a visitare la Casa dell'Abate Naldi che si trova a San Quirico d'Orcia, nel centro storico, e si può vedere anche da questa pianta che questa è una casa del 1600 costruita per il medico personale del Papa Alessandro VII. Questo progetto è stato realizzato in collaborazione con le dimore storiche europee e fa parte di un progetto che si chiama The Houses of the Month, le case del mese. E adesso continuiamo in inglese. Okay, good morning. I want to welcome you at Casa dell'Abate Naldi today. The house was built in the 16th century to host the personal doctor of the Pope Alexander VII, Fabio Chigi. And we are now in the historical center of San Quirico d'Orcia on the main street, as you can see also from this map. This project is being realized in collaboration with the European Historic Houses for the Houses of the Month. And I welcome you to come with me and visit this 16th century palace in San Quirico. Let's go. We are now in the first big entrance of the three. You see it's very large because it was used also for carriages because goods had to be brought into the house. This is very normal, but the adventure starts on the first floor. That is called the piano nobile. So come with me. Now we have one flight of stairs. Here we go on the first floor. Now we are on the first floor, and this is the hall on the first floor, and it's one of the beautiful rooms in the house. It's not really used, but it's full of light, and probably was the former facade of a previous house. At that time, they were used to rebuild houses over houses, and so probably this is the facade of the former existing house that now does not exist anymore. It's a beautiful room full of plants because they love light, and they survive very well even in the winter. The Abate Naldi was a doctor of the Pope Alexander VII, but soon after the house became part of the property of the Simonelli family and has been in the family since today. So we are able to tell you a lot about the history of the house because never changed the owner, so we know a lot about what happened since 1684. And now we go in the big drawing room where we can see how the history is layered in this house. And here we find a little bit of every period of the house. The floor is original, 1600, and you can tell very well as the doors that are all decorated following the style of the time. And also from the 16th century, or a little later, but not much, we think are the decoration of the upper part of this room. There are flowers and little landscape all around. Also very interesting are those figures that keep the beams in the place. They are all different, and there's a study that is planned for this kind of decoration with a very nice friend of mine. So we will keep you updated. The lower part, the center part of the decoration was made later because it's another style. You can tell it's more 1800, very different. And over the four doors that open in the room, there are the coat of arms of the families that became part of the Simonelli family by wedding. This was a way to honor and welcome the wives in the family. The coat of arms of the Simonelli family, Simonelli was my husband's mother, and the house has been in the same family since 1684. Is this one, if you want to see. This is the Simonelli coat of arms with blue and red in the lower part, and the yellow part, and the lily and the 2 half moon upper. And we will see it many times and in many ways in the house. Now let's go back to the moment when the house was built. The house was built, as I told you before, for the personal doctor of the Pope Alexander VII. And this man was very important. He was a man of sciences. He was important for his position by the Pope. And so he met many scientists of his time. One that is probably very well known is Francesco Redi. He was professor at Pisa University, and he was important because he was among the first scientists to not to believe in the spontaneous generation theory that was very important at the time. And many others. I found some documents where Matteo Naldi discussed with other colleagues if Galileo was right or wrong. So this is a little bit funny nowadays, but it's makes me think a lot that we are walking on the same floor that where this discussion took place at the time. So this is the message I want to give you, is that we are here in 2020, but the history is layered here, okay? But we like to live a normal life as much as we can. So what we do is we try to use the house as much as possible. We host concerts and other meetings in this room when it's possible. We are very happy because we hosted many musicians, some young groups and some more important. For 6 years we played a good role in the Festival Musica negli Orti, directed by Gianluca Capuano. Now the festival is over, but we keep hosting concerts. We are happy to have a collaboration with Le Dimore del Quartetto that brings young quartets in the house in exchange of the hospitality for a week, where they can perform and practice and live together. We get a concert, and we can invite our friends, but also, as we like to do, open the door of the house to everyone who wants to attend the concert. This house, we can host a maximum of 50 people in this room, but this is the way this music was played at the time. So it's like bring back the music in the place where it was written for. Okay, now I want to show you just an example, one of the bedrooms. This is, we can go here, this is one guest bedroom. This was the bedroom of Vittorio's grandfather and grandmother. On the upper part, again, we can see the Simonelli coat of arms, and on the other side of the room, there's the Marchionni coat of arms, because this was another, again, a way to welcome the wife. So this was their bedroom, and their coat of arms were both in the room. So now let's go, because there's a very peculiar decoration in the room next to this one, a little sitting room. I want to show you. this wall is very strange. It seems modern. We found this drawing under several layers of white painting. Thanks to our friend Flavia Ceretti, this was brought back to life. And it's amazing how it seems modern, but in fact is 1700 probably decoration. Of course, the same decoration Flavia found in the other walls of the room, but she said it was too long and too difficult to do the work in every wall. And of course, this I want just to show you how things change in the time, because in this wall there was no decoration, and you can see a very big difference between all the three walls and this one that is very thin, that was created to make a bathroom. And there were no bathrooms in the house, and every room was one following the other without aids or interruption. We go back in the big drawing room, and before leaving this room and show you the other part of the house, I want just to show you a couple of the ancient books that we have. This is the first one. This is very important. This is 1756. This was a book from Matteo Naldi. At that time, like nowadays, they had to deal with the pandemic. So he was trying to tell the other people that it's very important to wash their hands. In general, this was the meaning, and it was not so easy as it's today. Okay. This is another important book of Francesco Redi that I mentioned before about the spontaneous generation of insects, and he was against this theory. Francesco Redi is famous for this, and is also famous because he wrote a kind of small poem about the wines in Tuscany. So it's also funny to remember him whenever we drink a good glass of wine. Later, we had also another scientist in the family, Giorgio Santi. Giorgio Santi, at the end of 1700, 1719, something like that, he was a good friend of the Grand Duke, and he was the first to describe the flora of the Monte Amiata nearby, where he found species that were not common in other parts of Italy. So we are really proud to have all those ancestors, and whoever wants to make researches or read the original book, we are very happy, and they can contact us, because this book is now has been printed again, but the original version is not available anymore. Okay, so now let's go in the other part of the house. From the architectural point of view, the house was built more than for living, to welcome people, to encourage gatherings between, as I told you before, between important people. So the best part is that we have a view that goes from the main street to the back garden. That's a real garden. It's not a hanging garden. It's at the same level of the first floor, because the road behind the house is higher than the main street. So it's very nice to see all this space. Now it's wintertime, but it's still nice to enjoy the garden with the citrus fruits, oranges and lemons, that at this season they are the best color before it's time to store them for the winter. So if you want to see a little bit of this this is really another room where we live a lot during the summer and the fall. We like to have lunch and breakfast outside. And we have all our herbs for the kitchen, and of course oranges and lemon. And it's very nice for 6-7 months per year, and it's a treat to have a small garden, and it's small enough to be able to look after it ourselves. We are now on the ground floor by the big travertine well that in Italian is il pozzo. This well was very important, especially after the World War II. All the water, the public water, was no longer possible to drink. So the people came here to get some water for themselves. This is what my mother-in-law told us. This is a very nice and cozy courtyard, not just a courtyard. We use it a lot. For a while, we had the venture to open a restaurant here, and we wanted to call the restaurant Gli Archi, the arcades, because it was actually under the arches of the courtyard. And not only because archi means not just arches, but also is the word in Italian used for the strings, for the violins and cello in the orchestra. We call gli archi because we love music. So we found again a connection with the name gli archi, and I keep calling gli archi the little culinary school that I have here down. I used to teach in the old kitchen. The kitchen used by the peasant families coming here from Irigo. Now you follow me. This is a very, very cozy old kitchen with a marble table, the big fireplace, and it's perfect for parties when we have to grill a good Florentine steak, sausages, or just chestnuts together. So we like to make pasta here. We gather around the table, small groups, maximum 6 or 8 people together with myself, and we cook. We learn how to make pasta and other recipes here in the old kitchen, and the atmosphere is very cozy. Okay, now we go back inside. I want to tell you a couple of words about this room. This room is very nice. We call it La Stanza del Giardino, the garden room. That is the room that leads to the garden. And has 4 beautiful cupboards decorated with the same decoration of the door. So we have 4 doors and we have 4 cupboards. On the upper part of the cupboards, you can see here as well coat of arms of the family, and again we have the Simonelli coat of arms up there. And they are all very nice and very peculiar. We have a collection of medals and weapons that has been collected by the family during the centuries, because one of the very important things of this house has been in the family for almost 400 years now. So now we go into the dining room. This is one of the coziest rooms. It's in the main position. We see the fireplace in travertine stone. Once again, we have the Simonelli coat of arms here in travertine, and we have all around lots of important and antique ceramic collected through the centuries. Many come from the pottery factory of the Chigi family that worked only for 30 or 40 years at the end of 1600. This is for me. This is for me because my husband is comes from the Simonelli family, but when I came here in San Quirico, he said, "You are welcome to bring part of your history into this family. And this man, I don't know his name, this man we just called the ancestor, comes from Genova in 1700, and so sometimes I like to talk with him, as well as some plates from my grandmother's that are hand-painted. And so the message is use everything you have and share with people, because if you keep your plates in a cupboard and you don't use, they die together with the people that came before. So really welcoming people and inviting them to dinner and invite them to concerts is what we like to do as much as we can. Now there's the adventurous part of this visit. If you dare to follow me in a very narrow road, we can go upstairs in the attic, this upper part that was once used for the servants that live in the house to help, and also to the tower that overlooks the little town of San Quirico. Okay, we are now reaching the second floor that was used only to host the servants of the house. And now is a beautiful room with a lot of light where we keep some furniture, and sometimes we host exhibition of artisanal products, and when we open the house for the Day of the Historical Homes, we host people here, mainly paintings, because they enjoy life. This year we had the venture to meet an artisan who makes birds carved in the wood that he finds along the river. And every year we have surprises in this exhibition. And now you're ready to climb the tower. It's a very, very steep stair. Be careful. Almost on the top. But from here you will have a beautiful view of the town and of the whole valley. You can see here the church tower, and behind it we have the Radicofani. Radicofani is the last village of the Valdorcia. Here on the right you can see the Alti Leonini. That is a Renaissance garden built by Diomede Leoni, who got some land as a present from the Grand Duke of Tuscany. And on the back there's Monte Amiata, a mountain that's 1,700 meters high. There's snow at the moment, we are in the winter. And going again on the right you see Montalcino. Montalcino is famous worldwide for his Brunello wine. Here you can see Palazzo Chigi. Palazzo Chigi was built by the nephew of the Pope Alexander VII. So you can see how the history goes back to our doctor, okay? And Angelo Simonelli was a strict collaborator of the Marquis of San Quirico, who had this palace built. And the church Collegiata on the back. And here you can see from above our garden. We were there before. The garden was part of the system of gardens, very important when the village was under siege. They can grow their own food and keep the doors closed for months. And now I want to show you the most important part. This is our farm in Rigo. I hope you can see the white road with the two green fields on both sides and the house on the left. This is the living, beating heart of our life. There we have a working farm. We grow organic grains since 1990, and we have a farmhouse accommodation. And the farm now is led by our daughter Luisa and her husband Matthias, who is kindly helping me this morning with the video. And we are very, very happy because we see that life keeps going on, and the connection between the farm and the house still exists. In the past, the house was a storage place for all the food coming from the farm, and nowadays still there's a connection that makes us very, very, very happy because we see our project with the future. So thank you for following us till now, and we hope one day you can visit Casa dell'Abate Naldi and the beautiful surrounding Val d'Orcia. Thank you.